Hi, I'm Desi Serna, professional guitar teacher specializing in teaching guitar theory. I help students learn how to apply music theory to the guitar fretboard. And in this free guitar lesson, you're going to learn about applying scales, specifically the pentatonic scale and major scale patterns, and specifically to the song Black Magic Woman by Santana. So I'm not going to actually teach you all of Black Magic Woman note for note. If you're interested in learning this song, you can go look up the tab and you can find all the notes to the real version. I'm going to show you my version, how I play it, and I'm going to give you some of the background theory so you can understand the composition of this song and you can understand how to apply scales to it. This information is suitable for intermediate and advanced guitar players. So if you're a beginner guitar player, you're getting way ahead of yourself here. Focus on other things. Focus on the basics. So to get started, let's talk about the chord progression in this song. This song uses the chords D minor, A minor, and then G minor. Now, if you've studied how chords are built and if you understand playing by numbers and playing chord progressions, then you ought to be able to recognize that these three major chords can only fit into the F major scale together. Here's an F. Here's the F major scale. The second chord in the F major scale is G minor. The third chord is A minor. And the sixth chord is D minor. So these chords are actually derived from the F major scale. And what that means is, if you're going to play major scale patterns over this chord progression, the F major scale patterns are the correct patterns to play. They will be in key with it. So if you have never studied chord progressions are taught in my book, Fretboard Theory, Chapter 6. I also have a DVD program that is dedicated to this topic. It's called Guitar Chord Progressions and Playing by Numbers. And you'll learn all about how chords are built. You'll learn the major-minor sequence that emerges when you stack the notes of a major scale. You'll learn how to play by numbers, and you'll learn about common chord progressions, 1, 4, 5, 2, 3, 6, so on, that sort of thing. So let me play a little bit of the track that I'm playing over. And let me just show you how if I play F major scale patterns over it, that it mixes perfectly with the music, and even without putting much thought into it, simply by just playing up and down major scale patterns, it sounds good and it sounds very musical. So let me give you an example. Anyway, you get the idea. Knowing what to play is half the battle. Now I'm going to talk a little bit more about how I phrase and actually play over this progression. But the first step is realizing that these chords all stem from the F major scale, so F major scale patterns should be played over it. Now, the root chord in this progression is the D minor. So it's actually more correct to call the scale D minor scale. F major and D minor are the same thing, but it's more correct in this circumstance here to call it D minor, since your ear does hear D minor as kind of the root or the tonal center. Now, since the D minor is the root, you can play D minor pentatonic over this whole progression as well. And in music, There are actually only two sets of scale patterns that are used most of the time: pentatonic scale patterns and major scale patterns. And there's different tonalities of the pentatonic scale. There's different ways to apply it, and there are different tonalities and applications of the major scale. You can get into modes and all that stuff. But all of these different applications directly stem from those two different types of scale patterns. And even though there are many, many types of scales that you can learn on the guitar, the reality is that 99% of popular music is based on either pentatonic scale patterns or major scale patterns. So if you want to learn a lot about music and learn about how music works and how it goes together, learn about music theory or guitar music theory, you really should focus on understanding all the different applications and tonalities of pentatonic and major scales. I recommend you start with the pentatonic first. If you've never learned any scales, start with the pentatonic. They're actually simpler. Once you get a handle on those, you can move on to the major scales. And I recommend that you avoid any obscure or exotic scales. It might sound intriguing, like, yeah, I'm going to play some obscure and exotic music, but you probably don't really understand what that means. You probably don't listen to much obscure and exotic music, and most of the sounds that you do hear in all the varieties of popular music that they are really just pentatonic and major scales, at least 99% of it. So I'm going to play this track again, and I'm going to play some D minor pentatonic over the top. Here's D at the 10th fret on string 6. This is pentatonic pattern 1. And of course, this is just one piece of the whole puzzle. There are 5 pentatonic patterns, and they all connect and actually make one big giant pattern that covers the whole fretboard. So when you learn how to play a scale, you don't want to just memorize one little piece of it. You really want to know how to, you really want to map out the whole fretboard. You should be able to navigate the whole fretboard. So if you want to learn more about the pentatonic scale, see my book, Fretboard Theory, Chapter 2, or I have a DVD program called Getting Started with the Pentatonic Scale, and it will teach you everything you need to know to learn the patterns, to transpose, to connect them, basic technique, and I even talk about how to go about learning actual songs with the scale. So I'm going to back my track up, and I'm going to let it play, and I'm just going to play some D minor pentatonic just so you can hear how it mixes with the music, how it fits in. Anyway, you get the idea, and I was purposely dumbing that down and just trying to play up and down the scale pattern because I wanted to illustrate that even without much thought to how I'm applying the scale, even without much technique, even just by simply playing up and down the scale pattern, it still fits in nicely and it sounds musical because it is the correct scale to play over it. So, Black Magic Woman, its chords are derived from the F major scale. Everything revolves around D minor, so it's more correct to call it the key of D minor. And you can play the F major scale patterns over the top, or D minor scale patterns if you want to call them that. And you can play D minor pentatonic over the whole progression as well. All right, so now let's get into the parts that I'm playing specifically. And by the way, I never learned Black Magic Woman. I've been playing this for years. And I'm a theory guy. I understood how the song was composed, and I knew what my scale choices were. And I had heard this song so many times that I kind of had a general idea of what the melody did. So I'm kind of mimicking what Santana played on it. And this is not a part that was learned from the tab. So if you want to learn this part note for note, you'll have to go look the tab up. But let me show you what I was doing because it is very similar, and certainly it's recognizable, and you might. It might be all you need to just get started, and you can play your own version of the song. So I start here in this position, which revolves right around a common D minor bar chord. And this is also the position of pentatonic pattern 4. Or major scale pattern 3. And so I'm starting right here in this position. And I'll just play this slowly and just watch my fingers, and you can pick up on what to do here. I know you may have a hard time seeing exactly where I'm at, but this is pretty easy, folks. So just use your ear, and if you've mapped things out with the scale patterns, then you'll know where you should be playing and where you shouldn't be playing. That's why it's so important to learn this stuff, you know. And then I arpeggiate a D minor 7 chord. Okay, now up in this position, this is revolving around minor pentatonic pattern 1, which intersects major scale pattern 5. So this is nice because you can kind of riff and jam in the pentatonic box, you know. But yet you've got those extra notes you need to fill in the complete major scale, you know. And here's how the solo goes, the way I play it at least. So it's so here's a major scale note. If you're a pentatonic, you know, box player, you're probably not used to moving back like that. So this might be a new concept to you, you know. And I should point out that this is really kind of part of an A minor arpeggio here, because you're following the chord changes, you know. Ba, 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 da, da, da. A minor is the next chord change, so this note is part of an A minor chord. This is a little bit of outlining, which means instead of just randomly playing the scale notes without any regard to what chord you're over, you would actually emphasize the notes of the chord changes as they occur. A little pentatonic and major scale work there. More just plain pentatonic work. Okay, the chord change here now is on G minor, or here's a G minor up at the 10th fret on string 5. This minor chord shape, here's a piece of it like this. So I kind of arpeggiated the chord shape and outlined this chord like this. That didn't sound right. Let me try that again. That's what I did. Let me try that again slower. No? Yeah. A lot of these phrases I've just kind of improvised over the years, and I never really thought about them, you know. I know what my target notes are, I know where my scale patterns are, so I just kind of improvise. It doesn't always come out the same, you know. But here, this is a good example of thinking about a chord shape. Even though I'm not technically playing the chord shape, I'm still visualizing it, and I am emphasizing those notes while the chord progression is on the G minor to really tie in my solo here to the changes. It sounds better that way, And you end. Just some simple bends, and then we back that up again, so you've got and a little blues scale run here. The blues scale is just the pentatonic with a chromatic passing tone added. It's not really a different scale. This kind of fits in with what I told you, that most of popular music is based on either pentatonic or major scale. I don't consider the blues scale to be another scale. It's part of the pentatonic. All right, then the verses start. Okay, then the verses start, all right? So you've got, D minor. Got a black magic woman, got a black magic woman. A minor. Sometimes I grab it like this. Back to D minor. I've got a black magic woman, got me so blind I can't see. G minor. Then back to D minor. She's a black magic woman, she's A minor, trying to make the devil out of D minor me. And then I kind of spice it up with a little, strumming. Got a black magic woman, got a black magic woman. I got a black magic woman, got me so blind I can't see. There's a little lick that I believe is in the song, and it's just based on G minor, and it's little, and with my pinky. She's a black magic woman, just trying to make the devil out of me. So a little strumming and then just a little picking here and there to fill out the chords. And so you play a couple of verses, and then you have the guitar solo. So let me show you a little bit of what I do in the guitar solo. There's a couple interesting things here. In fact, I'll zoom in so you can get a closer look at what I'm doing here. Okay, this is better, so you can get a closer look. Here's D at the 10th fret. D minor pentatonic, and that's kind of the position I'm in. Most guitar players favor pentatonic pattern 1 a lot. That's okay. And then I got my major scale notes here too. And I start this guitar solo out just like I play the first guitar solo. So let me do it for you slowly. And then this is where I played a little bit different. So up the tempo it's... let me do that again. Some of those bends where you hold one string and bend another. Then a little hammer on pull off in the pentatonic scale. Actually, I believe I teach those in my pentatonic video. And then this is where the break is, and the other instruments stop, and you hear just some percussion, and the guitar goes. And it's just fretting one note and bending another. little climb up the pentatonic there, I stole from Sweet Child of Mine by Slash. He did something similar in a different key, and I really liked the sound of it, and I just kind of remembered it because I had learned it, and it fits in perfectly here. Whoops. And by the way, I'm not sure that I play this the same way every time. I have the general concept down of how I climb up the scale, so I may not play it exactly the same, and you don't need to play it exactly the same. So I make it up to here at some point, and then I play. And this, of course, outlines the G minor that I'm playing, the chord change, you know. And then I attempt to do a sweep arpeggio. You see a lot of these neoclassical guys like Yngwie Malmsteen do these amazing sweep arpeggios. So I've never been all that good at it. Or all that interested in spending the time to get it down. But I do like to use the technique a little bit, and I do it right here over a G minor. And this is what the arpeggio looks like. It's actually very similar to a C-form bar chord if you learn the Cage template chord system, which is a great thing. All guitar players should really focus on that. I teach it in my book, and I have a DVD on it as well. Now, I don't talk about sweep arpeggios, but this particular arpeggio is very similar to that. Just add that note in. And I usually finger it like this on the way up. And it's called a sweep because you kind of rake the pick into it, you know. Then I put a pull-off in there, and then I come backward. So it's... Again, you know what? I'm not all that good at this technique, to be honest with you, but it doesn't really need to be perfect. It still fits in nicely, and it sounds good. And maybe if I keep playing it, I'll get better at it. So next, you have the bends from the very first solo at the beginning of the song. And that ends the main guitar solo. Okay, at the end of the song, I go back to this melody down here again. And I start rolling off on the volume. And then I do a little run that looks a little bit like this. Whoops. I screwed that up, but... Let's try it again. It's right here in major scale pattern 3, you know, revolving around this D minor chord. So it's like... And I'm cross picking this, alternate picking, you know. And I end on the 5th of D. And I probably never play this quite the same way, but I keep that pick moving and I keep those fingers moving, and I end on the 5th of D. And then do that again. Little pentatonic box work. Okay, well that's basically it. So I've given you kind of an overview of this song, Black Magic Woman by Santana. And now you know a little bit about the chord progression and the scales used in this song. And I've taught you some of the licks and phrases that I play which of course sound very similar to what you'll hear on the original recording. I'm going to post a copy of this backing track that I played with. I'll post it online, so look for a link to it somewhere in the details and description of this video. I'll post a link to it, that way you can download it and have it yourself, or just stream it online and you can just practice playing along with it too. And you know, you don't have to learn how to play Black Magic Woman. You can actually just use the track as a practice track and just practice your scales. You can practice D minor pentatonic, you can practice the D minor scale or F major scale patterns, you can practice your licks and phrases. So it doesn't have to be about specifically learning the way that Santana played Black Magic Woman, or it could. If you're a big Santana fan, then here's your opportunity to really practice the song and get it down. So, you know, I'm a guitar theory teacher. That's what my books and videos focus on. So I like to give people information related generally to how a song is constructed. So that's what the purpose of this lesson was. So thanks for watching. My name is Desi Serna. If you want to learn more about what I do, including my books and my videos, or you just want to find some more free content that I have posted on the internet, just Google search my name, Desi Serna. That's D-E-S-I S-E-R-N-A. Or you can go directly to my website. The address is guitar-music-theory.com. That's guitar music theory with dashes in between the words. If you have any questions or comments about this video lesson, you can email me from my website. I do read all my email and I respond to all questions, so long as they are related to guitar music theory. That's my area of expertise and that's what I teach. So if you've got questions about you know, guitar repair or cooking or fishing, I'm not going to be able to help you out, okay? Anyway, please share this video with your friends. If you have a website linked to this video, if you frequent websites or forums where you can post links, post a link to this video and just help tell other guitar players about this lesson that is available. So thanks again for watching. Play until your fingers bleed.